Hello everybody, thank you for coming to our second annual open house. Today's seminar that we're going to be doing is making your neighbors jealous, getting a jump start on your lawn this spring. So we're going to be going over all the different aspects of how to keep your lawn green. So the very first thing I wanted to talk about is some frequently asked questions that we get. First of all, why can't I grow grass seed? Well, there's a couple different reasons why you might not be able to grow grass seed. One of the biggest questions that we get is, I have a really big shaded area in my lawn and I can't grow any grass seed. So what we have here is we have a dense shade mixture that I want to show you. So we have a couple different grass seeds to choose from. Now this is a sun and shade mix, and we also carry a dense shade mix. This sun and shade, what this does is this takes both types of seed, your Kentucky bluegrass, your perennial rye, and it puts them into one mixture. So whether it's a sunny area or a shady area, the more dominant area will take over. Very good grass seed. This covers up to 1,000 square feet if you're doing overseeding, which means if you already have a lawn, you're just trying to make it a little thicker, it's going to do 1,000 square feet. And it does up to 250 square feet with bare lawn. Now, how do I get my grass seed to grow? Well, that's a good question. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to rake up the area really well. We don't want a nice hard surface. We want to make sure that it's a soft surface so that way the seeds have some place to plant. So what I do is I take my rake up the area really well, and then I'm going to put just a little bit of topsoil on, a new topsoil on top. I'm going to put down my seed, and then I'm going to put a nice thin layer of topsoil over that. Now the purpose of that is so that way, A, if the birds see it, they're going to eat it, and nobody wants to pay this much for bird seed. And the second reason is it helps insulate the seed itself, and it makes it grow a little bit faster. Now with grass seed, there's a product that we sell called Grass Fast. This is a floating row cover. This actually allows the sunlight to come through, allows the moisture to come through, so that way it hides it from the birds, keeps it a little bit more protected, a little bit more insulated, so it speeds up the grass seed process. And once you start to see your growth, you can take this off and you can actually reuse this. Very good product. Okay, so grass seed. Now you have your lawn, we want to make it look good. So we sell a 4-step program here from Max Lawn. What I like about this program here is there's no rebates you have to worry about. There's no gift cards that you have to wait for. It's just all 4 bags for $49.99. So I'm going to go over the different steps for you. The very first step is the pre-emergent crabgrass. Now what this does is, it's not going to kill crabgrass, it's going to prevent crabgrass. This is in my opinion, if you're going to do one fertilizer all year, this is the most important one. You get this down before the soil temperature is 55 degrees, which in an average Michigan year is anywhere from April 15th to maybe May 15th. This year here it's a little bit later because of the weather that we're having. But you get this down before the soil temperature is 55 degrees, and it's going to work very well for you. You're going to put every step down about 4 to 6 weeks apart. So the next step that we're working about here is the weed and feed. This one here is going to kill a lot of your weeds that are already up. So your dandelions, your clovers, pretty much any broadleaf weed that you have in your lawn, this is going to take care of for you. Now, what's important to remember about the second step is this has to be applied to a wet lawn. Steps 1, 3, and 4, you put it down and then you water in. Step 2, it has to be wet first, then you put it down because you want all these little particles to stick to the weeds so that way it kills them more effectively. Step 3, this is just a straight fertilizer. A little bit higher nitrogen, and this bit here is going to fertilize your lawn, get the nice deep roots for the summer when your lawn is under just a little bit more stress. And then your last one is the winterizer. Now, the winterizer, looks like I got these backwards, sorry about that guys. Step 3 is the one that we just talked about, and step 4 is our winterizer. Winterizer, this is going to be real similar to our third step, except if you look at the very last number on here, which is the potash, this is the potassium here. You guys can see that, you see that in the back? Alright, there we go. So you take a look at that number 10, you want to make sure that's the highest number for your winterizer. And what that's going to do is that is what gets your lawn ready for the winter, so that way come next spring, it's already going to have a nice healthy start, and then you're ready for step 1 again. if you have some problems with your lawn, let's say you inherited a bad lawn, you maybe just bought a house, you're not quite sure what to do, I highly recommend the 4-step. That kind of solves most of your problems, and then you can get into different programs from there. Okay, so let's talk about watering. Now, watering your lawn is very important. In order to have a nice lush green lawn, you have to have a minimum of 1 inch of water a week. Now, we sell a rain gauge that you can put anywhere in your lawn. It tells you exactly how much watering you're getting. Now, it doesn't matter if you get that water from a sprinkler system, if you get it from natural rain, but you want to try to get at least 1 inch. Now, what 1 inch is going to do is that's going to soak real deep down to the roots, and that's going to make your lawn be able to stay green throughout the season. Another question that we get is, should I mulch or should I bag my lawn? Well, quite honestly, it's more preference than anything else. If you mulch it, you have to remember that anything that you put into your lawn is going to be in those clippings. So if you want those to go back into your lawn, it's pretty helpful because all this fertilizer here that you're putting into your lawn, that goes up through the little grass blades itself, and then you're putting it back into the soil. So really, it's almost like another low dosage of fertilizer. If you bag it, sometimes it looks a little better to bag it if it's real wet, and if you're trying to have that golf course look, bagging could be the way to go. Really, either one of them is going to be a really good option. Now, weeding. Let's say you get some weeds that sprout up throughout the season. There's a couple different options that you can do. If you've done the 4-step program, this is the step here that's going to take care of the weeds for you. But let's say that you didn't do the 4-step and you have some miscellaneous weeds that pop up. There's a couple products out. This one here is by Scotts. This is actually a fertilizer and a weed killer all in one. You hook this up to your hose. This covers 5,000 square feet, and this will take care of all of your broadleaf weeds and help green up that lawn as well. We also offer some spot treatments. I have some by Bonide and I have some by Bayer that basically what that does is you see a weed, you spray the weed, you kill the weed. It's not going to kill the grass, but it's going to kill any broadleaf weed. Those are really popular as well, especially if you're trying to stay a little bit more organic and you don't want to maybe put down a weed killer throughout the whole lawn. The spot killer is what you're going to want to use. Alright, insects and disease. This is one of our more popular questions here. Everybody has grubs in their lawn. Everybody comes in, what's wrong with my lawn? Sometimes you'll get some brown patches, you'll get some areas where if you try to pick up on it, it almost looks like a carpet. Then you know you have grub damage. If you can see these brown spots right here, everyone has seen them, that's usually grub damage. And like I said, the best way of telling if it's grubs or if it's another problem, you try to pick up on the lawn, and what happens is these grubs, they eat the roots. So if they eat the roots, this just pops right up. So there's 2 different types of grub killer that we sell. If you have a severe problem, you're going to use this product right here. This kills all grubs and most other insects in your lawn within 24 hours. This is a curative product. This has no residual, so you're not going to prevent any new grubs, but this kills anything that's in your lawn at that time. You put this down, water it in, covers 5,000 square feet, you don't have to worry about grubs at that time anymore. So let's say you got your grubs killed, now you want to prevent them. You would use the season-long control. This one here is a little bit different than a lot of other grub preventatives. It uses a little bit different active ingredient, and it has a little bit of fertilizer in it. It's called turf revitalizer. So after you take care of the grubs with this product here and you prevent the grubs, this has just a little bit of fertilizer that's going to help in those summer months when it's really hot. 2 of my favorite products for grubs, both by Bayer, works really well. Okay, so let's say you have that brown patch in your lawn and you pick up on it and it doesn't do anything. Well, there's another thing that it could be. It could be a disease. Now, there's a couple different diseases that are common in lawns around here. One would be brown spot, brown patch it's called. Another one is dollar spot. And another one is rust. Have you ever walked through the lawn and then you get that stuff on your shoes, turns a little red, you follow it throughout the lawn? That's called rust. So usually the way that happens is if it's a really hot, humid year, and the humidity and the moisture kind of stay with the grass there. Grass doesn't like to be wet all the time. Hot, humid temperatures are a perfect breeding ground for diseases, so that's usually where they develop from. Let's say you get your lawn cut from a service and they don't clean their blades in between cuttings. If your neighbor has a disease and they cut your lawn and that sticks out the blade, that's going to be transferred to your lawn as well. Same thing with your shoes. If you're walking through that rust and if you walk to a different part of your lawn, you can actually transfer that. So we sell a disease curative and a preventative. You hook it up to a hose, you spray it, it covers 5,000 square feet, and it's not only going to cure that, it's going to prevent it from future outbreaks as well. Very good product. It's by Bayer as well. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is dethatching and aerating. So, the difference between the two is, has anyone ever had that done before? Oh, okay, perfect. So, what did you have? Dethatching or? The aeration? Okay, so what aeration is, for those of you who don't know, it's this machine that goes through and it takes these little round cores through your lawn and it opens it up. Now, what that does is that allows water to go in, it allows air to go in, it helps break up if you have some clay soil, it helps break that up, but it also allows more nutrients to go in there. I recommend aerating every other year and dethatching every other year, so you're going to be alternating. Now, what dethatching is if you look at your lawn, at the base of it, sometimes you get that brown stuff on the bottom. It doesn't ever stay green. That is, let's say you don't bag. Let's say you mulch and you get a little bit of buildup on the bottom. That's what thatch is. Easy way to get rid of it is, it's called a power rake or a dethatch. It's called either one. You can rent the machine. You can have someone do it for you. Really easy to do. I would just recommend alternating between the two. If you do that every other year, you're not going to have any issues, as many issues with fungus, because you're not going to get a lot of moisture trapped underneath it. All right. So does anybody have any questions on anything that we talked about so far? Yes, ma'am.
I have a dog, and I feel like he is the irritating my grass. Is there anything you can do to prevent that or help?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a couple different things that we can do. Here's a product by Scott's here, by Easy Seed. Now, this product here, it's your all-in-one, fix-everything sort of product. Not only does it have your seed in it, it has your fertilizer in it, it also has some mulch in it, so that way, let's say your dog pees in a specific area. You're going to rake up that area really well, you're going to shake this out, water it in. Now, the mulch in here is actually a coconut pith, which is the inside of a coconut, so it absorbs quite a bit more of its volume and water. It holds the water real close to the seed and it allows your seed to stay wet, and it's actually going to tell you when it needs to be watered. When it's wet, it's going to be a dark brown. When it's dry, it's going to be a light brown, and it's going to let you know exactly when you need to water that. And the last ingredient in here is called gypsum. What gypsum does is it actually changes the pH of your soil, so that way when your dog does his business on the lawn, he has a really acidic urine. This actually makes it go the other way, so that way it counteracts that, so you can take care of every step in one. Now, if you want to just do grass seed the old-fashioned way, you can still do that, but you're going to want to get some gypsum separate, put that down so that way it counteracts the pH of that. Any other questions? All right, now there's just a couple other products here I want to go over. So, we talked about the 4-step program as far as the crabgrass preventative. We also sell just the crabgrass preventative, so if you don't want to fertilize your soil but you want to prevent the crabgrass, this is your product here. It's called Halts. You would put this down again before the soil temperature reaches 55 degrees. You put that down, you water it in, and you won't have crabgrass issues for 4 months. So this is a very good product. We get a lot of questions about organic as well, and I have a couple products here that I want to show you that are organic. So you still want to keep the weeds down, you still want to keep the crabgrass down, but you don't want to use a synthetic product. This here is corn glue. And what this is an organic weed preventative. Now, it doesn't quite work as fast as your Halts or your Step 1 or your crabgrass preventative here. It has to build up in the soil just a little bit, so the very first year you put it down, you could still get some weeds. But once you use this product for a couple of seasons, it builds up in the soil, and you'll get some pretty good weed prevention. So this is how you prevent your weeds. Now I'm going to talk about the fertilizer. This is Grass Magic. This is the Cadillac of organic fertilizers. I've used this product myself for about 4 or 5 years. It has all these little microbes that go into the soil. This works a little bit differently than your synthetic sort of fertilizers. Synthetic fertilizers, they make the lawn green, they make your lawn look great, but they really don't do a lot for the root system of your grass. This really makes the root system of your grass much thicker. A healthier root system and a thicker root system means that your grass is going to be better, because now your grass can absorb 7 times more water, 7 times more nutrients, and you're doing it organically as well. So you could use this product on the hottest day of the year and it would not burn. That's one nice thing about organic fertilizers, is they will not burn. Another thing about this Grass Magic, it's actually made in Michigan. This is a Michigan company out of Lake Orion. Very good product. All right, does anybody have any other questions? Sir, you good? Okay, well, thank you very much for coming. I appreciate it. And if you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Good job.